So this is Wednesday, October 26th, and we're going to get deeper into our stories about what to do with babies that make poor choices. Let's see, make our new mythology, the homework entry. And as far as the homework goes, you'll find the location there for this homework that we do next Wednesday, because Tuesday we're going to have a writing prompt. It's going to connect to the quiz coming up on Friday. There is a new option on the homework. If you go on there and check it out, option number 3 is a completely different thing, so you can take a look at that. Then we got through this, but I'm just going to do this speedy version to get us caught back up. Music and museum comes from? Muses. How many were there? 9. What were they in control of?
Art.
The arts and stuff like that. Music, museum. June comes from? Juno. Her Greek name was? Hera. And who was she married to?
Zeus.
And what was? She was the god of 2 things? Childbirth and marriage. Which both are ironic because
Zeus have a good relationship with
Zeus.
14 kids.
And why is it we named June after this god?
Because there's a lot of
Month of
The month of marriaging. And then mind comes from? Athena, whose Roman name is? Minerva. And she was the god of 3 W's. Weaving. Why is she the god of wisdom?
Because she was born out of
Brain baby. Why is she the god of war?
Because she made armor inside of his head.
The brain and the armor. And the weaving, we'll get to that one later. And then, so that where the mind comes in. And, the other god of war is?
Ares.
Nicely done. Ares, whose Roman name was?
Mars.
Nicely done. Whose Roman name was Mars. And when you go off to honor Mars, because you're going off to war, what do they call that walk you do? Marching. Then the time of year, which is connected to him, because it's thought that the...
Oh my
God! They just played it in the chair. The time of year thought connected to him because of all the chaos in the weather was called?
March.
Also called March. Well done there. Then we got to our beginning of how everything started.
Big ball pudding.
The first thing to exist was?
Big ball pudding. Giant.
It has a name.
Chaos.
We name our pudding here.
Chaos.
Chaos, which was the bowl, except I can't find the bowl. And then it splits to form the first 2 gods, which are? Gaia and Uranus. Gaia's other name is? Mother Earth. And then Uranus is?
Father Sky.
You guys are on it today. And then we got to them having their first set of babies. Do you remember the fancy name for this babies? I'll just be calling them the 100-handed monsters, or basically just calling them monsters. They did have 100 hands. How many heads?
50.
50 heads, 100 hands. There were 3 of them that were born. Basically just know that they were ugly and that they were monsters. How does Mother Earth feel about them?
She loves them. Proud.
She loves them.
Earthquake coming through. And how did Father Sky feel about them?
He hated them. They're ugly.
He did not. So what does he do about this problem? And what's the pit called? Buries them in the pit of Tartarus. And that was as far as we got.
No.
We get to the next set.
Babies.
Gotcha. So we were doing the whole rolling up our sleeves and the whole finger wiggling because we've not had the class yet. Gotcha. So we're going to have our second set of babies, and we roll up the sleeves. We haven't had that class yet, and they do the finger wiggling and yell babies as you do. I'm sure that's how it works like in the class too. And the second set of babies, much smaller than the first set. And by smaller, I mean compared to the big ugly monsters, they would be about up to the ankle of the big ugly monsters. And they only have 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 head, 1 nose, 1 mouth, and 1 eye. And the second race are called?
Cyclops.
They are the Cyclops. There are 3 of them that are born. And the 3 they also have names, Arges, Brontes, and Steropes. And the 3 Cyclops are also born. And with these, Father Sky keeps his eyes closed the entire time. He's like, I can't look. He's like, describe them to me. Mother Earth was like, they're adorable. He's like, I fell for that last time. He's like, all right. So he slowly peeks, like, ooh, those aren't bad at all. And he takes a look. He's like, they're so much smaller than the last one. She was like, I don't know. I was trying something new. He's like, well, I think you did a good job. He was like, you don't have so many freaky heads. She's like, something new. He's like, all right, I like this set. He's like, I think we're going to keep them. And the Cyclops go, keep us? He's like, shh, don't worry about it. And so they decide these kids, the Cyclops, get to stick around. And life is good. Time passes. Years go by. Cyclops running around on Earth. Mother Earth loves them. Father Sky loves them. Till one day, the Cyclops discover they have a special ability. They can plunge their hand into Mother Earth and pull out raw metal. When they pull out the raw metal, they can shape it with their bare hands. And they can shape it into weapons. Armor, shields, swords, spears. And, being as that there's 3 brothers, and all 3 of them are immortal, what is it they're going to spend their time doing? Fighting and stabbing each other. Because that's what brothers do. And you can run over to your brother like, hey, see that arm of yours? Now you don't. And so they think it's absolutely hilarious. Father Sky's like, oh, that's my boy, you go chop each other. And Mother Earth's like, it's adorable, watch it when it twitches when it hits the ground. And everything is great. Until one day, one of the Cyclops is chasing after his brother and makes a gigantic sword. And he goes and runs. His goal is to jump off the top of a mountain and land and cut his brother in half. He thinks that's going to be great. So he jumps off the really tall mountain. He's like, I'm going to get you. And when he slices down, he hits the thing above him. And what's the thing above him? Father Sky. And he cuts right across Father Sky. Father Sky not amused. Like, ah! He's like, did you just stab me? He's like, it was more like a slash and cutting thing. He's like, ah! Father Sky's not happy. He goes, you can't go cutting your parent. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, you do that again, you're going to regret it. He's like, oh, okay, I apologize. Weeks go by. One day, another brother creates a nice, big, pointy spear and goes chasing after his brother and takes the spear and wings it as hard as he can. And he goes, wooga, 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 wooga. And his brother turns to see it coming and then dodges it. And the spear goes right past him. He's like, ah, you missed me. And he sees it, wooga, 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 as it goes up into the air. And it hits
Father Sky.
Father Sky, who's just hanging out of there. Hey, kids, what are you doing to... Ah! Is that a spear? Yes, Father. Did you just stab me? Yes, Father. It's like, ah! Ah! So Father Sky decides he's going to solve this problem. He goes, hey, remember when I told you that stabbing me, I'd make you regret it? I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, did I ever tell you you have older brothers? They go, we have older brothers? He goes, you do. Would you like to meet them? We would. He's like, let's make that happen. Father Sky reaches out, rips out a giant hole in the ground, unearths the hole where the other brothers are. What's the hole called? Tartarus. This time he takes a big chunk of metal, throws it down into the pit. The Cyclops go, ooh, metal! And they go running over to the edge. They go, Daddy, why does it look so ugly down there? And Father Sky goes, take a closer look, and pushes them in. And they go, ah! And fall, and he puts the earth back on top of it, pats it down, and buries them in the pit of Tartarus. The Cyclops are now gone, never to be seen again until later in the story. So now, Mother Earth and Father Sky are back on their own. And they're just hanging out doing Mother Earth, Father Sky things. When Mother Earth approaches Father Sky again. And she goes, hey, hon. He goes, uh-huh. She goes, remember when we used to have these things called children? He goes, ugh. Yeah. She goes, let's call those practice kids. Let's have a set of keeper kids. He's like, what's the difference? He's like, well, we're going to make this set even better. Everyone knows the third kids are the best. He's like, I don't know about that. He's like, well, there's only one way to find out. He goes, well, I'm retiring after this. He's like, whether we keep them or not, I'm not having any more kids. She goes, okay, sounds like a deal. He goes, have you taken that class yet? She goes, I'm still not taking it. He goes, wiggle fingers? She goes, wiggle fingers. He goes, okay. And they go ahead, roll up their sleeves, like, all right. Third and final set of babies. Wiggle finger, and out pop the third set of babies. Mother Earth decides to try something new this time. So instead of 3 or 6 or 9, she pops out 12 babies at once. It's a whole litter of babies, like a machine gun going off. They keep firing up out of the ground. And they're tiny compared to the other ones. And these, compared to the Cyclopses, come up to like the Cyclops' ankles. Compared to the big ugly monsters, like the size of a nose hair or something. And they come popping up, and 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 head, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 eyes,
2 ears.
because this set of kids are called the Titans. And Mother Earth tried something also new. She invents this thing called girls. Instead of just having boys, she decides to have 6 girls and 6 boys. 6 daughters, 6 sons. Once again, you don't have to know all their names. I just put them up there in case you were interested. And so she has this set of 12 of them, and she thinks they're awesome. Father Sky, once again, eyes covered. He's like, how are these looking? She goes, they're adorable. He's like, yeah, still not falling for it. But he opens his eyes like, oh, they're so tiny. She goes, I know. He goes, they're bite-sized. She goes, what? He goes, nothing. And so he decides he's going to keep this group around. He goes, wait, let's test them first. She goes, what? He reaches over and grabs a big chunk of metal, throws it down in the middle. He goes, do something with that. And they go, he goes, perfect! We're going to keep you around. And they go, keep us? He goes, shh, don't worry about it. And so this becomes the set of kids who get to hang out with Mother Earth and Father Sky. Years go by. Things go along perfectly. There's no major issues. And the kids decide they want to honor Mommy and Daddy. Like, we love you, Mommy and Daddy. Because of that, here's what we're going to do. And they decide to build a palace so they can worship Mom and Dad at the same time. But in order for it to work, it has to be as close to Dad as possible while still being in contact with Mom. So where are they going to build this palace?
Mountain.
On top of a mountain. And they go on top of a mountain and build this humongous palace, be close to both Mom and Dad at the same time. And they call this palace
Mount
Olympus. Inside Mount Olympus, each of the 12 Olympians builds and creates their own throne. And this is the place they get to sit to hang out anytime they want to talk to their parents. And so each of the Titans creates their own throne. And people are happy. Except for Mother Earth. Mother Earth calls the sons in one day. And she goes, hey, sons. And they go, yes, Mommy. She goes, well, I heard something the other day, and I think it'd be fun if I had one of these things. And they go, what'd you hear about? She goes, they're called grandbabies. And they go, grandbabies? What are those, Mom? She goes, I have no idea. But I need you to get on it and start making me some grandbabies. And they go, all right, Mom, we're going to get you some grandbabies. And so they decide to go out and get married to create the first grandbabies. And the sons go out and look around and realize there's not a lot of people to choose from. Actually, there's only 6 people to choose from. And so the 6 brothers decide to marry their sisters. And so each one picks the hottest sister to marry, and they begin making a whole race of little grandbaby Titans. And so the 6 brothers marry the 6 sisters, and we call this place Kentucky. And so we have... It's always fun to throw shade at Kentucky. And so we have this new race of little grandbaby Titans, and those grandbaby Titans, they start making new little great-grandbaby Titans, and then great-great-grandbaby Titans, and there's just Titans running all over the place, everywhere, and life is good. Except for Mother Earth. As the years go by, Mother Earth loves her children, and her grandbabies, and her great-grandbabies, all of those, but she's still sad here because of who she misses. And who does she miss? Her original children. And she decides she would like to have her original children back. But there's something stopping her from getting her original children back. And that is not the giant rock. Father Sky. So she decides we're going to make Father Sky disappear. So she comes up with a plan to get rid of Father Sky. She's going to have him killed off. She can't do it herself, so she decides to hire out this job. And unfortunately, we've not invented things like assassins yet, so she only has one group of people to go to. She goes to her 6 sons. And she calls in the first son. And she goes, sweetie. He goes, yes, Mom. She goes, what do you think about becoming king of all the gods? He goes, that'd be awesome. She goes, I know. He goes, what? That's Dad's job. Dad's king of all the gods. She goes, yeah, I know. You're going to have to kill your dad to become king of the gods. He goes, I don't want to kill Dad. She goes, oh, that was a test. You passed. Good job. Just kidding. Send in the next brother. And so she goes through each brother in turn, asking, want to kill your father? No. And just kidding. Send in the next one. So eventually she gets to the last of her original sons, a kid by the name of Cronus. And she calls Cronos in. She goes, Cronus? He goes, yeah, Mom. She goes, would you like to become king of the gods? He goes, oh, more than anything. It'd be the greatest thing in the world. He goes, wait, but that's Dad's job. She goes, yeah, I know. You'd have to kill your father. He goes, done. When? She goes, what? He goes, I'm on it. When do you want me to start? She goes, you're an eager beaver. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm all over it. She goes, oh, well, I got it. And she goes, here's what we're going to do. Let me create for you a magical weapon that you can use to cut your father, and you will chop him up until he runs away, and then you get to become the new king of the gods. He goes, all right, hook me up. Where is it? She goes, well, I'm going to create for you this thing called a scythe, and she's going to make it out of adamantium, which is the strongest metal known to ever exist. And for those of you who know your comic books, adamantium is the same stuff that Wolverine, his skeleton and claws, is made out of adamantium. In the comic books, they got it from Greek mythology. So she makes him this scythe out of adamantium. She goes, here's the goal. What you're going to do is when your father comes down to give me a hug, because it was thought that Father Sky came down to give Mother Earth a hug every day. She goes, when he does, you jump out and you just start chopping at him, and you chase him until he gets to the edge of the world, and then we'll be rid of him. And he goes, edge of the world? She goes, yeah. Everyone knows that the world is created as a gigantic circle. It's a dinner plate, not a globe. That'd be ridiculous. Right. Purple paper got stuck to the side. It's embarrassing. You can't kill your father with purple paper. Because the world was a giant dinner plate, not a giant ball. He goes, you chase him to the edge and get rid of him. He goes, great. He goes, when do I start? She goes, right away. Because when is it that Father Sky comes to give Mother Earth a hug?
At the night.
At nighttime. Because that was nighttime, was when the sky came down to be with Mother Earth. So, Kronos goes and hides behind a mountain, puts the scythe behind his back, and he waits for his dad to come down and give his mom a hug. That night, Father Sky comes down, he's like, give me some loving, baby, and comes down to Mother Earth to give her a kiss, and all of a sudden, Kronos jumps up from behind the mountain. He's like, hey, how you doing, Dad? And Uranus is like, you kind of scared me there. What you doing, son? He's like, nothing. He's like, what's behind your back? Kronos is like, oh, this? Just a big, sharp, pointy stick. Uranus goes, what are you going to do with the big, sharp, pointy stick? Kronos goes, he goes, you're a little on the creepy side. And he takes off running. Kronos goes, oh, no, you don't! And takes off running after him. And every time he jumps off the top of a mountain, he cuts his father with the giant pointy scythe and cuts out giant chunks of his father every time he cuts into him. These giant chunks that he goes cutting out of him fall down and hit Mother Earth. Every time a chunk comes out and hits Mother Earth, it creates a new creature. These new creatures are going to show up in later stories connected back to here. So he does the run and the chop, the run and the chop. And he keeps running and chopping and chasing Uranus all the way to the edge of the Earth. And he backs Uranus up. And Uranus keeps going until his feet are almost hanging off the very edge and there's nothing behind him. And Kronos just keeps coming at him, choppy. And right before he gets to the final choppity, he brings it down, and Uranus goes, wait! He goes, what? And Uranus goes, I have a present for you. He goes, yay! I love presents. He goes, what is it? Uranus goes, it's in my pocket. Hang on 1 second. Uranus goes, okay. And Uranus reaches into his pocket. It's a curse! And he throws it at Kronos. He goes, you are my child, and you are overthrowing me. So I curse you that one of your children will overthrow you, and one of their children will overthrow them. And for the rest of time, one of their children will overthrow... Kronos goes, I'm bored! And jumps at his father. Rah! And Uranus goes, ah! And jumps. Goes out into space and disappears. Depending on the story. Some stories say that he just goes out into space and then floats away, never to be seen again. Other stories say that he hangs on this little stalactite underneath Mother Earth and is still down there to this day. Others say that he just disappears as soon as he goes out there. But however you look at it, he's gone. This is the last time we ever see Father Sky in Greek mythology. No. Mr. Brovicast? Yes. Did he just kill the sky? Yes, he did. Mr. Brovicast? Yes, I know. What happened was the sky, he killed the sky. Now we have something called Stepdaddy Sky. And Stepdaddy Sky now steps in and just hangs out up there and does stuff. I have no idea how you kill the sky, or once the sky's gone, the new sky that represents it, but there's now a new sky that's up there. But Kronos becomes the new king of all the gods. Once he does, Mother Earth reminds him why he did this in the first place. Why did he do it in the first place? Not to become king of the gods.
Original babies.
To free the original babies and get them back. Say, hey, congratulations becoming king of the gods. What you're going to need to do now is go and release the original children. Kronos goes, oh, yeah, not a problem. He's like, where are they? So I can go meet them. I'd love to meet my older brothers. She's like, well, there's this big path you're going to take. It goes underneath the world, and there's this place called Tartarus, and you're then going to release them from this place called Tartarus. He's like, all right, sounds like a great idea. So he heads down this big, long path, gets down to this underground pit, Tartarus, throws open these gigantic doors. And they go opening up, and he goes marching in. He goes, my name is Kronos, and I am here to free... Oh, my God! And he throws up. And he backs up. He's like, whoa! What is that? And Mother was like, those are your brothers. He's like, no, that's walking ugly. He goes like, that's not related to me. She's like, yeah, they're related. He's like, yeah, that can't happen. She goes, what do you mean that can't happen? He's like, I'm not releasing that up there. He's like, people will die throwing up everything inside of them. She goes, but you agreed. He's like, well, yeah, we're going to do this instead. And he steps back and he goes, and just shuts the door and puts the lock on. He's like, we're just going to leave those there. Just never talk about that again. And goes back up on top of the world. Mother Earth is furious. But there's nothing she can do. She has no arms. She's like, I'm angry, but I can't do anything about it like a Tyrannosaurus. So she instead decides to start planning revenge to get back at him. Kronos becomes the new king of all the gods. One of the first things he does as the king of all the gods is he starts putting himself together a squad. And he has 3 guys that he hangs out with who become like the regular dudes to chill with him. One is a guy by the name of Prometheus. Prometheus will be known as the smartest Titan to ever exist. It's almost a superpower. He's so smart. It was thought that he had the ability to see into the future. He could rub his temples and go, and know whether or not you're like, watch out, you're going to stub your toe. What? Ow! He's like, I told you. And he could just see it coming the entire time. In Greek mythology, his name, Pro, means forward. Methi means thinking. And so you have pro, forward, thinking. 1 second, I got to get your point before I forget. There. Thank you for reminding me. When you pack up, when I'm still talking, I start charging kids points. Don't worry, there's like 3 other kids too. Silly children trying to distract me. There. That. Nah, I know. This is just learning. And then Prometheus means forward thinking. Vera, his twin brother.
Yeah.
Who is his twin brother?
Epimetheus.
Is correct. Epimetheus, his twin brother. And Epimetheus also had a superpower, but it was the worst superpower ever. Yeah?
Wasn't he the god of idiots or something?
He was super dumb. And technically, his name in Greek meant opposite. Well, it meant after thinking. His brother meant forward thinking, and Epimetheus is after thinking. Epi means after, and then methi means thinking. And it wasn't so much that he was super dumb, although he was. It was the fact that he could not see into the future, like his brother. Mr. Brovicast? Yeah. I can't see into the future. I know. Does that mean I'm dumb? No. You're dumb for other reasons. Because technically, you can see into the future. You just don't realize you can see into the future. There's an experiment you can do to prove to yourself whether you can see into the future or not. Go home, find this thing at your house called a stove, and you turn on the stove, and it has a little top burner thing. You turn it on so it gets nice and glowy and red hot. You want to take your right hand and then slap it down onto the redness and count to about 2, and then do your best to rip it off. Try not to scream. Then, take your left hand, slap it down in the same spot. At some point, before your hand hits the burner, you're going to go, I don't want to do that, it's going to hurt. That's seeing into the future. You know as soon as your hand hits, that's going to hurt. But it's not happened yet. How do you know? Seeing into the future. Epimetheus did not have that ability. For Epimetheus, he could not see into the future. For him, it was slap. Oh, God, that hurts so. Ooh. No, why would I do? Ooh. And it would just keep going. So that's why he was the god of idiots. There was no seeing into the future for him whatsoever, which leads to all kinds of problems on his part. They have a third brother, a guy by the name of... Oh.
Atlas.
Atlas. He has books.
Yes, he was the god of... Hi, Conrad. Look at you losing points double time. Getting up and then getting in front of the camera and just rocking them. Just going to keep on going. What a fun day it is from there, too. Tomorrow, make sure you have your iPad so we can help you out. I guess run away.
Bye.